Hola,
My name is Wendy,
mi nombre es Iván.
and we are Wendy Durr and Yvonne Ramos, serving with United World Mission in Mexico. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri,
I am original from Mexico City and I grew up in Oaxaca.
and now we're coming up on 7 years of marriage. So it's been a blessing to serve as long-term missionaries, and the areas that we serve in are evangelism and discipleship, worship leading, and most recently, in the past few years, our mission agency had the opportunity to open a Mexico sending agency in Mexico City called Unidos en Misión Mexico. And part of my heart and passion, being Chinese American, my parents were actually the first believers in their family. They came from China and Taiwan and immigrated to the States when they were young. And they came to know the Lord when they were in college, which in St. Louis, which is where they met and they got married. And they came to grow in the Lord through my home church, which is a Chinese church in St. Louis, Missouri. And so my brothers and I, my two younger brothers, we grew up in a young Christian family. And by the grace of God, we came to know the Lord at a young age. And I got baptized at the age of 16. And shortly afterwards, our church sent their first missions team to China. But growing up, I had heard a lot of stories from missionaries. My parents had hosted missionaries. And the Lord had really put that on my heart to get involved in His global mission. So after I got baptized and the church had sent their first missions team to China, when they came back and shared stories of God's work there and the need for more missionaries in the field, I remember, even though I was really shy, raising my hand when they gave an invitation to see if anyone was sensing a call to missions. And that's when the elders of the church and the pastor of the church prayed over me and pretty much commissioned me for my first steps of getting involved in missions. I ended up going to college at Northwestern University in Chicago and got involved with InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. And there, as a student, I participated in my first missions trip to Russia for 8 weeks. And the Lord really touched my heart there and helped me understand more about the needs around the world and how I could get involved in His global kingdom. And so I came back to finish my studies, and during my senior year in college, through a series of circumstances, prayer, reading the Word, talking to other people, the Lord made it clear that He was leading me to Mexico. Why Mexico? I had no idea at the time because I didn't know any Spanish. I didn't have any Mexican friends. I didn't even like Mexican food that much. But through the Lord's leading and His confirmation, I decided to sign up for a short-term missions trip of 1 year under United World Mission's Avance program. And the day after I graduated from college, I came down to Mexico City to be in this missions immersion program. So it was all about learning the language, living with Mexican host families, learning to share the gospel through both word and deed, and serving in local churches. I remember my first words in Mexico that my friends had shared at college, which I didn't even know what that meant, were, "Hola, soy Wendy, yo quiero un novio," which means, "Hi, my name is Wendy, I want a boyfriend." I didn't even know what that meant at the time. But years later, the Lord heard my prayers, and I met Yvonne in 2015 on a missions trip to Oaxaca in southern Mexico, where he was serving. And my husband, Yvonne, has been involved with worship leading, training up worship leaders in churches all over Oaxaca. And we had the opportunity to meet over a dinner, a ministry dinner, and back in 2015. We got married in 2017, and then we've been serving together in ministry since then. So part of our project is serving with United World Mission, and in 2018, United World Mission, or UWM, opened a Mexican sending agency called Unidos en Misión Mexico. And that's what I am passionate about, and what we are passionate about, is seeing God's church in Mexico getting involved in His global mission. So we're involved with mobilizing churches in Mexico by facilitating missions courses, participating in missions events, sharing about missions, inspiring and teaching on missions. We organize short-term missions trips. My husband actually organized a trip for our church in Mexico City and brought 3 Christian bands down last year to Oaxaca to help partner with a church planter in Oaxaca who is reaching areas that have no Christian presence. And so they put on these 3 Heartfest festivals, which is a music festival where they share the gospel through music and art and testimonies. And it was amazing to be able to serve together with a long-term long-term church planter who are good friends with Yvonne. So Yvonne has been involved with making ministry connections and partnerships so we can know where to send teams. We also help send long-term missionaries through Unidos Misión Mexico. And so it's been exciting to see that in the last 6 years, we now have Mexican missionaries serving in Asia, in Haiti, in Mexico, even in the U.S. And we have others that are preparing to launch long-term to share the gospel to places that are unreached, that have no gospel presence, in Jordan, in Thailand, others that are planning to go to the U.S. to work among the Hispanic population, others that are en route to serve in Italy. So we see that God is raising up the church in Mexico to get involved in his global mission. Another area that's brought us a lot of joy is that even during the pandemic, the Lord opened up the way for us to buy a home outside of Mexico City in Tequisquiapan, Querétaro, which is a small town of about, 70,000, 75,000 people. And it's a beautiful place where we've opened up this home called Casa de la Vid, or Home of the Vine, to provide spiritual retreats for missionaries, pastors, and ministry leaders. And it brings us a lot of joy to be able to help them connect to Jesus, the true vine, and to provide a place of rest, of renewal, and of renovation in their relationship with the Lord, because so many ministry leaders get burned out as they're serving. So that's just a little bit about us. We're excited to be able to get to know you at Epic Missions, and we hope that you'll consider supporting us. May God bless you.
God bless you.